Then she tells me something that still sends chills down my spine. She was sitting on the couch, and she was organizing something or doing something on the couch, and the kitchen faucet just turned on all by itself. No one touched it, no one was by it because me and my daughter, we were upstairs and it was just her by herself. That's it. And my wife is the type of person, she doesn't make stuff like that up. Welcome to Homefront Battles, where spiritual warfare meets everyday life in your thoughts, in your habits, and in your home. We're here to expose the enemy, equip the warrior, and take back what's ours. You know, there's a war that's happening all around us. It's not the kind that you read about in headlines, it's not the kind that's fought with guns or tanks. This one's a little bit more personal. This one's quieter. And yet, it's far more dangerous. It's a war in the heart. It's a war of the mind. It's a war in the home. These are homefront battles. They're the kind of battles that don't get broadcast. They don't make the evening news. But they're the kind that tears apart marriages. It's the kind that drives teenagers into depression. It's the kind that grown men become addicted and distracted and ashamed. I'll be the first to admit it. I've been in battles that I didn't even know I was fighting, truth be told. From drinking to smoking weed to watching pornography, neglecting duties as a husband in a marriage, to mismanaging finances to a large degree, to overindulgence in food to the point of significant weight gain, to being distracted, unmotivated, and quite frankly, undisciplined. You know, I thought I was just dealing with life. That's what I personally thought. But the truth is, I was losing battles that I didn't even know was part of a bigger war. I wasn't standing guard. I wasn't wearing any armor. Spiritually, I was asleep in the trenches while the enemy raided my house. You might be thinking, well, Jason, what do you mean while the enemy raided your house? Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, I'll share a moment that kind of opened up my eyes. My wife and I, we were in the middle of one of those arguments, right? You know, the kind where you forget what you were arguing about, but you stay mad anyway. Silent treatment, right? Hours go by, sometimes a couple days go by, no progress, just pride and pain. That's it. Well, one night she comes up to our room where I was watching a movie with our daughter, and she says, "Can you come on downstairs?" So I follow her, and she looks at me, gives me the hugest bear hug, and she says, "I need you to pray right now. I need you to pray over this house. I need you to pray right now and for us." I just looked at her. I said, "Okay." There was no build-up. There was no explanation behind her request. It was just that. So I did. I prayed. Probably not the most eloquent prayer, but it was heartfelt. Then she tells me something that still sends chills down my spine. She was sitting on the couch, and she was organizing something or doing something on the couch, and the kitchen faucet just turned on all by itself. No one touched it, no one was by it because me and my daughter, we were upstairs and it was just her by herself. That's it. And my wife is the type of person, she doesn't make stuff like that up. But she said it turned on by itself and then it shut off by itself, with the handle still in the off position. Figure that one out. Now, this isn't an old house that we live in where somebody previously died and there's like a soul lingering around or a spirit. This is a newly constructed house. It's a brand new build house. There's no history, no prior families. I don't think we're on an Indian burial ground to my knowledge. There's just no explanation to it, except this. The enemy doesn't just whisper in your thoughts. The enemy shows up physically. And if it stirs fear in your soul, the enemy will certainly show up physically. Now, we don't like to talk about it much. We don't want to sound strange or cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs by most people, but truth be told, whether you want to believe it or not, the spiritual realm is not a myth. It's a reality, and it exists. You might not be able to see it with your own eyes, but I'm here to tell you, it exists. Ephesians 6:12 says, "For our struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with the principalities, with the powers, with the rulers of this present darkness, with the evil spirits in the heavens." Now, that argument with your spouse, it may not be about what you think it is. That unexplained anxiety, the depression, that constant frustration with your kids or your career or finances, it might not be just emotional. It might not be just circumstantial. It could be spiritual. Now, I just want to take a second for a moment here and pause and tell you that if this message is speaking to something inside of you, if you're recognizing these patterns in your own life, then I want to ask you to do one thing. Subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell, and share this message with somebody who needs it, because most people do. Just a lot of people don't talk about it. But this isn't just about content. This is about our freedom, and we're not meant to walk these battles alone. We're not meant to go through this war by ourselves. Now, the enemy doesn't need to break your windows. He just needs to break your will. He doesn't need to burn your house down. He just needs to cool your love until your marriage goes cold. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't need to destroy your body. He just needs to convince you to eat your way into lethargy. One scroll at a time. He wants you to scroll your way into mental fog or spend your way into slavery. This is how the enemy operates, ladies and gentlemen. I know. Boy, do I know. You see, the enemy thrives in distraction. He feeds on disconnection. He sows division. He waters it with our pride and with our pain. See, I used to think I just had bad habits. Now I understand that I had a passive posture in an active war zone. But here's the good news. I got some good news for you. You don't need to be perfect to fight. You just need to be awake. You don't need to have a perfect marriage. You just need to be willing to pray when things get hard and they start to fall apart. You don't need a seminary degree. You need surrender. You need to surrender to God, the only general who sees the entire battlefield. God is not distant from this fight. Believe me on this. He's not watching from some high tower with his arms crossed. He entered the war zone. He came in the flesh. He took the hits. He wore the thorns. He bore the nails. Gee, I wonder who I'm talking about. And when he rose from the dead, he declared victory, not just from heaven, but right here, in your mind, in your home, and in everyday life. John 10 verse 10 says, "A thief comes only to steal and slaughter and destroy. I came so that that they might have life and have it more abundantly." See, God's desire is not just for your survival. It's for your restoration. It's for your victory. It's for your joy. Homefront Battles is more than just a message. It's more than just a channel. It's more than just content. It's a movement that we're creating here. It's for men who feel like failures. It's for wives who feel unseen and unheard. It's for kids, both young and older, that are growing up in silent homes full of anger. It's for the people stuck in cycles that they never asked for. It's for you. If you ever felt like something invisible was keeping you from who you're supposed to be, this channel is for you. So what are really Homefront Battles? They are the daily wars that we fight to keep our minds guarded, our hearts pure, and the homes aligned with heaven. They are the daily wars that we fight every day. They are private fights that determine our public fruit. They are the unseen struggles that shape our visible lives. And I'll be honest, you can't win them alone, but you're not meant to be. You're not meant to win them alone. God is calling you today to rise up, to armor up, and to surrender your weakness and receive His strength. Because on this battlefield, the ones who kneel are the ones who win. Welcome to Homefront Battles. Let's get to work.